Enzo, Enzo, where are you, mate? Where are you? Hello?
It's been confirmed that Pep Guardiola will leave Manchester City at the end of the season.
No!
Maresca is the favourite to take over from him.
So we played Bournemouth second to last game of the season. The day before, though it wasn't officially announced by the club, there was heavy reports that Pep was definitely leaving at the end of the season. And there was also heavy reports on top of that, that Maresca is the one to take over. Then we got the official announcement that Pep's leaving. And yet, still to this day, we've had the Premier League season ending, the start of the World Cup, the whole match day one in the World Cup. Still, to this day, we have still not had an official announcement on Maresca. Now, I know that there is problems with the compensation with Chelsea. I'm not a financial expert or a lawyer or anything like that, so I have no clue how long these sort of things are supposed to take or what the kind of ins and outs of it are. The fact that Nottingham Forest, I understand the market's a bit fucked, but Nottingham Forest are trying to get us to pay over, like what, we're talking like 120 mil, 130 mil I've heard, for Elliot Anderson. We're also looking at Tonali as well. Newcastle 100 mil. Fair enough, Bernardo was a free agent technically. Seemed like he was going Barcelona, maybe back to Portugal or something. He ends up in Madrid. Yeah, not great, don't get me wrong, I'm not hating on him or anything, but, you know, I would have liked him to go somewhere else than Madrid, but it's not, you know, the end of the world, and he's not a snake or anything like that, so any of you saying that, yeah. But then you get Madrid, they're also looking at Rodri, they're also looking at Ruben Diaz. You know, a couple of weeks ago before, you know, the contracts probably started coming, they were looking at Gavardiol. You know what I mean? We're just getting absolutely rummaged by everyone. And I knew, yeah, even if Maresca was announced, this is probably going to happen because, you know, Pep to Maresca. But we got the here we go on Maresca fucking months ago now. It feels like Liverpool got the here we go on Iraola, and within 3 days, the club's doing all these fucking interviews and shit for him. What is actually going on? Because I'm actually starting to think now, what happens if we don't? Pep's coming towards the end of the contract. People are saying, oh, he's probably going to leave now. Talking about 24, 25, when we were in a pile of fucking shit. There was talks of Maresca, and I've literally seen reports this season that Maresca has always been pretty much the only option, which I think in itself is a bit worrying. You know, no offence, Enzo. But genuinely, if we get to the end of this World Cup and he still hasn't been announced, I'm actually starting to worry. I actually am starting to worry because we haven't actually, although it looks like we're getting Anderson, we're potentially getting Tonali as well. And I'm not saying that it's going to completely affect us on all signings, but if we get to the end of this World Cup and some of these players are looking like they're going to go to the club and yet there's still no announcement on the manager, then that might make them think, hang on a minute, these lot haven't even actually properly got a manager yet, so why the fuck would I join them? Do you know what I mean? Why are Chelsea begging it so much? Genuinely, what's your problem? What's your problem? We literally gave you Cole Palmer for 45 mil, and you just can't let Enzo go. Plus, by the way, again, I said I don't know how these things work, but we're literally looking at spending 130 mil on Anderson, 100 mil on Tonali if we're trying to get them, and yet we can't pay off Chelsea for compensation on a manager that left months ago. Do you know what I mean? So how much compensation are we paying them? Do you know what I mean? I bet you they're ripping us off. Just like everyone else. But yeah, we need to get Enzo in the door, because if not, it's very worrying. If he has been the only one that they've gone in on and they haven't had a backup option, I'm not saying just names they've had in there just in case that they go after, I'm talking like they've actually gone somewhere with talks with some of these managers just in case Maresca doesn't join, then we actually could be fucked. If Maresca was the only option anyway and he doesn't come in and then we've got to go out for another manager, that manager's probably going to be lower than Maresca. Now, I know Maresca has some experience, but it's not, you're not thinking, fucking hell, mate, fucking hell, the Conference League. So we probably would be getting a manager less than that, which means that, you know, We knew this was going to be a lot different this season than it was last season. Could be better technically because the squad is there set up for them and players that we're probably going to bring in. But it is likely for at least a bit of this season we're going to have a little bit of a drop off for the next couple of years. It's probably not going to be as rosy as it was under Pep. Ever since Pep's left, like, I'll be honest, when it got announced, it didn't really set into me. I went to the last game. You know, it was an emotional day, but I still think then it didn't even really set into me. Then I'm getting into the transfer window. Some of the talks have died down, some of the reports haven't really gained any traction since, but some of the names I've been hearing: Cucurella, Enzo Fernandez, Pedro Porro. What's going on? Just sort it out. If you need me to pay, I would, but the Czech Republic decided that they're going to put up a shit show against South Africa, and stupidly I put both teams to score on Canada, Qatar, and yeah. I learned my lesson. Qatar are really, really fucking shit. You know what I mean? 6-0 by Canada and 2 red cards. Yeah, that's another story. Just pay the fucking compensation, because this era that we're going into is already potentially going to be dodgy anyway. Let's not make it any fucking worse. Just fucking pay it, will you? You know, let's not act like we haven't got the fucking money. Yeah, come on. Sit there. Fucking let's fucking win the club next season.